Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for coming today to yet another webinar. My name is Amber Briggle. I'm the owner and CEO of Soma Massage Therapy. I've been having a number of webinars talking about just, business success, business ideas. Can you guys see my screen okay?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Because I can no longer see you. So if you have to say something, just shout it out. Take yourself off of mute because I can't see you anymore. I am having these series of webinars. I have them on the first Friday of every month. It's designed for people at every phase of their business journey, whether you are just thinking of an idea and you don't know how to implement it, or you've been in business for a number of years or decades like myself and just would like some coaching or some mentorship, just some bouncing ideas around, and everyone in between. So today's topic is how to scale sustainably and successfully. This idea was brought to me by a previous participant who's also an amazing health coach and building her own business. And so she wanted to talk about this, and I have a lot to say about it because I have definitely had some hiccups in my 20-year career. I feel like I've since ironed them out and we're in a pretty good place. But I'm here to share with you some of the things that I've learned in my 2 decades being a businesswoman, hoping that you can avoid some of the errors that I made and scale up sustainably and successfully. A little bit more about Soma Massage Therapy. We have been voted Best of Denton every single year since we opened in 2012 or 2013. We've won it 12 years in a row. The last 3 years, we've been voted Best Pain Management as well, which is awesome because our bread and butter at Soma really is pain management, rehabilitative massage, medical massage. We're really working on those adhesions and tension in your muscles so that we can increase your range of motion and decrease your blood pressure and increase your oxygen flow and all this stuff. We've got like 26 massage therapists. So there's something for everybody, but our bread and butter really is more that rehabilitative massage. And as a result of that, we have a no tipping policy. We take HSA and flex. We see over 1,000 clients in a month. I mean, sometimes it's 12 or 1,300 people in a month, which is pretty amazing. We do have 2 locations in Denton. We are actively franchising. We would love to talk with you if you are curious to learn more about how you can be your own boss and own your own wellness brand. This is how you would find out more about that. It's at mysomamassage.com. There's a tab at the top called franchise. Just click on that. It tells you a little bit more about the wellness industry as a whole and Soma Massage Therapy specifically. There's a form at the bottom that you can fill out to get a little more information and get the conversation started. I will personally reach out to you and welcome you to the Soma brand and answer any of your questions. And if franchising is not right for you, but you know someone that this actually might be kind of a good fit for them, we do have a franchise referral bonus. If you introduce them to me and they later become a Soma Massage Therapy franchisee, then you will get either $1,000 cash or a year of free massages, is my way of saying thank you for helping us transform the industry and helping your friend be their own boss and just making everyone's world a little bit brighter and better. So this is episode 6 of our Here to Help series. You can find all of that at our YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/mysomamassage. We do have a playlist just called Here to Help. We've done everything from finding your target market to marketing on a shoestring budget. The last one we did was on the art of saying no, which is kind of revolutionary because I think when people are starting out in business, and even when you're in business, you feel like you have to say yes to every single opportunity and how that can really come back to burn you because you are everything to everyone, which means you're kind of nothing. And really kind of sticking true to your values, which was a previous episode, sticking to your values, knowing who you are, knowing your worth in the world, and so on. So you can review all of those on our YouTube channel anytime you'd like. So today we're going to be talking about how to scale up sustainably. I'm going to share my journey of what I learned about sustainable growth. I built this business literally with my bare hands twice because COVID basically decimated us and I had to do it all over again. I've learned a lot along the way. I used to do it all, literally everything. I do the massage, I do the payroll, I do the email blasts, I do the appointment reminders. I'd like do the hiring and firing. I would do like literally all of the things that you could possibly think of. I was doing it all and it was exhausting. And I certainly made some hiccups along the way, which I'll talk about later in this presentation. I feel like I have figured it out now. I've made some investments in our technology, in my team. I've certainly learned a lot along the way too. I've been to a couple of rodeos now at the age of 47 and being a small business owner since I was in my mid 20s. So I'll be happy to talk about all of that. Our goals for today are really to understand what sustainable growth really means. We're going to identify 4 pillars of sustainable scaling. We're going to recognize the warning signs of unhealthy growth. How can you spot those red flags? I'm going to give you a very lengthy slide on outside experts and resources. I encourage you to get your pen and paper out to write all that down because these are the people who are going to help you reach those mountaintops. And then we're going to have a time at the end for Q&A. Okay? The challenges with scaling is that it can often lead, if you're doing it alone and you don't have these systems and people and processes in place, it can lead to absolute chaos and burnout. It can lead to liabilities. It's going to highlight the bottlenecks in your business. So you're going to feel overworked. You're going to have these inconsistent systems and inconsistent messages. You're going to have reactive management. They're not being proactive, they're being reactive, and that's not going to be good for your clients or your employees. And so it can really feel kind of overwhelming as you're looking at this growth that you inevitably, will need to do it as your business in order to reach more clients, make more money, be more sustainable as a product, as a brand. But it can really, if you're not doing it right, it can really highlight these bottlenecks. And so I think today we're really going to talk about what makes growth actually sustainable. So here's the 4 pillars of sustainable skilling. We're going to talk about systems, people, profits, and support. The first thing is systems before scale. You cannot scale chaos. So ask yourself, if you had to step away for a week, you had to step away for 2 weeks, if you had to step away for a month, could your business still run smoothly or does it all fall on your shoulders? Think about that. If not, it's time to fix it. So the first thing I would recommend is just again, to highlight, you cannot scale chaos. That is, if you need to scale chaos, it's all going to fall apart. So you really need to have clear documents and processes and automate as much as you can. Now, we really try at Soma Massage Therapy because we are literally dealing with physical touch. We try not to automate too much, right? We really want an actual person answering the phone to answer your questions. But when it comes to appointment reminders, right? That can be done by a bot. And so we have a fantastic system where we book your appointment and it sends out an automatic email or text confirmation letting you know that your appointment's been booked. It sends out another one the day before. That can be automated, but on the front end, we really want to have that personal touch. So kind of know what works for your business best. I used to literally email every single person. That was exhausting, but there's a tool for that now. We understand that we cannot answer every single call. This is a very hands-on business. We really take our time with people, and we still want to be able to capture people when they do call us. And so we have a system that sends out an automated text. Thanks for calling Soma Massage Therapy. Here's how you can book online. Like, please text. And they text us back. Hey, I was just calling to see if I could book a couples massage for tomorrow. We've captured them. There's not a lot of people that leave voice messages anymore, right? Myself included. And I know how good we are at returning voice messages, but even I don't typically leave a voice message when I'm calling a business. I'd rather just call back and talk to someone. So if we have a system that can like send out a text that says, hey, we're here, what do you need? They're going to text us. That's an automation that we could certainly use, that we have used really successfully. We also have, talking about documents, right? Like we now have training manuals. We've got cheat sheets. We've got an operation manual. We've got scripts, right? Before it was a lot of sort of like early in my career, it was a lot of sort of like discombobulated emails. And I'm like, hey, here's a thing you should know about team. And, if they read their email, they get the message. If they miss the email, they didn't get the message. It wasn't written down. So then when future people came to join the team, they never got that email. It was a mess. It was a mess. We have things actually written down. And when I went through my franchise school, I guess for lack of a better word, I went through a very lengthy sort of like 9-month franchise boot camp so I could really get Soma ready to roll. My coach sat me down and he's like, you need an ops manual. And so I extracted like 20 years of knowledge out of my brain and put it on paper. And we're so much smoother and more sophisticated, more organized now. So write it down. You don't have to write down everything today, but maybe start with like a checklist or an outline, right? And just kind of fill it in. Maybe set a clock and you're going to have it done in 30 days or 90 days or whatever it is. Just chip away at it every bit, every little day, a little bit every day, and get those systems and those training manuals and everything put in place so that if you need to step away or your manager needs to step away, there's a book and you can show them what it is that needs to be done. It's already written down, right? And also I want to recognize it also takes a team of people and a lot of delegation. Every call, all the massages, all the HR, it was always on me early in my career. I did all of it and I was exhausted, absolutely exhausted. And I missed out on a lot of my kids' milestones because I was literally working like 8 a.m. to midnight. It was insane. So make sure you're hiring people. We're going to talk about that in a future slide. The best investment I ever made was in my front desk team. And I hesitated hiring the team because the way how our pay structure is set up at Soma, I pay my massage therapists on a per project basis, right, which is very clearly outlined for them. But I was like, how am I going to pay my front desk team? Because if there's no one on the table, I still have to pay them anyway. Well, guess what? They're the ones who are getting the people on your table. They're the ones who are helping me run the payroll. They're the ones who are helping me clean the studio. Like they do all the things, right? So I had to invest in my front desk team, which was a fantastic investment in the rest of the business. And so if you need to hire a part-time assistant just to help you get your books in order, or if you need to hire a consultant who can help you put together some of these training manuals, whatever it is, start investing in the people that are going to help you grow your business and delegate as much as you can, take as much as you can off of your plate and give it to other people, which is going to free up your mind to think about the big things and the big goals that you want to be doing with your business. And then lastly, implementing the right tools for your business. So I already mentioned, we have these, I don't want to call it AI, but I guess that's what it is. These bots that will send you a text message when you call and we don't get a chance to answer, right? A tool that also sends out email and text appointment reminders. We've got scheduling software. We've got CRM software. We've automated our payroll. We have standard operating procedures. So whatever tools work best for your business, implement that, automate it, and take that off of your plate. People, oh my God, my team, they are incredible. I love them so much. I really encourage you also to hire people for their fit and their values, not just their skills. You can teach someone how to put out a fire when a therapist calls out sick and you've got a couples massage in 45 minutes and what do we do, right? You can teach them that, right? But if they don't have the right sort of ethos on approach and making this like a people first business, understanding that when people call and they're short with you, it's probably because they're in pain and not because they're a meanie, right? Understanding where people are coming from and understanding the Soma difference, which I talk about during our franchise calls, just some of our ethos and our values that really kind of set us apart. Really hiring people that align with those values first and foremost is going to make your life so much easier. I admit earlier in my career, I was hiring people because they were available. And I was concerned that as a small business, I wasn't going to find anybody else except this person who was right here in front of me, right? And that led to definitely to some hiccups and some bumps along the way because I was trying so hard to bring them over to this understanding of who Soma is and what it is we're trying to do in the world. I was spending too much energy trying to either appease them or make them happy or get them to see why we were doing things this way, that it distracted me from being able to really cultivate those professional relationships with our clients and my current team members to really help them grow in their wellness routine or in their career, whatever it was. I was too distracted, right? So hire people based on fit and values, and then also making sure that you are building loyalty to yourself, your brand, your company, through making sure you're paying them fairly. So at Soma, we pay, above average whenever possible, because we understand if you want to have excellent service, you need to have excellent people. If you want to have excellent people, you need to pay them excellently. So we work really hard on our base pay is much higher than it is at other competing studios, because we want to have the best people around. We clearly document how the therapists are paid. So as I mentioned earlier, they're paid on a per project basis. So we document exactly what a project looks like in order to earn that base pay, right? We also have an hourly pay on top of that for non-massage related activities like paperwork or trainings or meetings, what have you, right? So we really clearly document what that looks like. And we also, yeah, I've mentioned previously that we have a no tipping policy. So we make sure that we factor in tips as a part of that pay structure. And we also have an Employee of the Month program, recognizing excellence when they do something amazing. We want to make sure that our team feels recognized when they get like a 5-star review on Google. I try and screenshot that and send that to them. And and especially if I can, like, text the whole group and like, hey, Amanda, hey, Adam, hey, Marissa, like, you guys did great. Check out these reviews that you just got. That public praise really goes a long way. So fair pay, clear expectations, and recognition is going to build loyalty. Profit with purpose. I mean, what growth is only good if it's profitable and aligned with your values. Like, literally, what is the point of making money if you have to sell your soul to do it? Right? We talked about that in the last 2 previous webinars. One was just about the value of being a values-based business. And again, the art of saying no. You can review those on our YouTube channel, but making sure that you are excuse me. Whew, I'm talking too fast. Making sure that you are aligning with your values, and that you are, by doing that, it's going to make your profits more sustainable. Because again, as I've mentioned in previous webinars, if you are trying to do everything for everyone, then you stand for nothing, right? And then it's just not a good pillar. So making sure that you are staying true to your values, to your people, to your clients, that is going to be far more sustainable. And also making sure that you're pricing for sustainability and not just survival. So we have to raise our rates in 2026. And I hate doing that, because I know that prices and budgets are tight for a lot of people, but it's tight for a small business too, right? And so we started scaling up our rates back in 2022 when we moved into our new studio. We understood that it was going to cost more to run this new studio. I had to hire an accessible front desk team, and people absorbed that cost because they understood the value. We raised our rates again in 2025. So we've gone 3 years. Think about all that inflation that had happened in 3 years, and we hadn't raised our rates. So that was our commitment to our clients, because we knew, but we reverse engineered it. I knew what I was going to need to make in order to keep our business sustainable, right? That was the rate we charged in 2022. That sustained us for 3 years, despite the inflation that we were seeing. But finally, it caught up to us. In 2025, we raised our rates again so that we could continue to scale up. I recognized in 2025 that because we had waited too long to raise our rates, I really needed to raise them again in 2026. So this is phase 2 of our initial rate adjustment that we started a year ago. I also knew that by raising our rates $20 in a year, right, going from $80 to $100 in a year for a 1-hour massage, that was going to be a hard pill for a lot of our clients to swallow and a hard thing for them to budget. So I cut it in half. We went from $80 to a $90 1-hour massage. This year, we're going from a $90 to a $100 1-hour massage. That is going to sustain us well into the future, so we can continue to not only, pay our rent and our insurance and our electric bills and have those healthy snacks for our team, but then also continue, as I said with the previous slide, to pay our team a living wage, continue these bonuses and these perks and these raises that we promise to them every single year. By treating them well, paying them fairly, having those clear expectations, we're able to sustain our employees, which will then obviously benefit the rest of the business. We're not going to have a lot of turnover. We're not going to be losing clients. They're not going to follow their therapist when their therapist leaves. So pricing for sustainability, not just survival, understanding that you can't price yourself out of the market, but you also can't undersell yourself either, because if you do, you're going to be constantly scrambling to pay the bills, and you're going to be making bad decisions when it comes to finances and hiring and firing, because you're going to be in survival mode instead of this healthy, sustainable mode. So reverse engineer that, right? Figure out what that looks like for you. Yes. Okay. And then I want you, obviously you cannot do any of this alone. You need a support team. So get out your pen. This is really important work. Here are the people that I wish I would have had on speed dial the day I opened my doors. The first is a CPA and a bookkeeper. Absolutely. He is worth his weight in gold, y'all. The first year that I hired someone, I was working out of my house. We were sharing the spare bedroom of my house, and that was Soma at the time. Before that, I could just see what did I spend for my business and what did I make in my business, and the difference was my profit, and that was my pay for the year, and it was super easy, right? Well, then I hired someone, and then I didn't really think about how that was going to really affect how I was going to do it at the end of the year. And at the end of the year, basically, it was like $8,000 that I couldn't account for, that I ended up just paying taxes on. And I know that I didn't get that $8,000 because I would have noticed $8,000, but I didn't know where it went. So I paid taxes on it. I'm like, okay, girl, you're getting yourself a CPA. And he has been so fantastic. He's helped me every step of the way from, solving that problem that year to now, to moving to our first location, managing COVID, now opening at our next location, our current location, opening our second location, now franchising. He has been amazing, and he's seen my process the whole way. So absolutely get yourself a CPA or a bookkeeper. There are things like QuickBooks you can use, but sometimes having a CPA on speed dial to answer your questions is so key. Have a business attorney as well. They can help you, decipher and write contracts, leases, waivers, trademarks. They keep you compliant. A lawyer can help you identify liability issues, and then helps you address them before you get in trouble with someone, right? So have a business attorney that you have a good conversation with, you have a relationship with, not just when you're in crisis, but being able to avoid the crisis. Have a realtor. If you have a brick and mortar business, they can help you identify commercial property. You don't have to ask ChatGPT and go on Zillow. Get yourself a realtor. They can help you identify, like I said, that commercial property, even for rental. They can help you negotiate a better deal. They're fantastic. They can help you read through the lease and identify any issues with that. The Small Business Development Center is a great resource. I do not know if they're accessible right now with the government shutdown, but they've been fantastic. If you have an idea and you want to know, like, what's the difference between an employer and independent contractor? What makes the most sense for my business? How do I trademark my name? Whatever it is, you can speak with them. It's a no additional cost service. You do have to make an appointment, but certainly reach out and have a relationship with your SBDC liaison. Mine will often email me with, changes to federal law or, upcoming grants that I might be eligible for. So establish that relationship. They're really, really helpful, and they are there to help you grow your business. Obviously, the library can be great. They can help you write a resume. They can do research on demographics and marketing. They can just point you in the right direction. So don't rule out your library. Actually, the Denton Public Library System also has actually a business librarian specific for this. So reach out to your library. Chamber of Commerce and service organization like Rotary, Kiwanis, Lions Club, things like that. These are some excellent networking opportunities. The chamber is going to advocate for your business at the local, state, and federal levels, and they're going to get you in front of lawmakers, and they're going to tell you when there's grants available that your business is eligible for. And the service organizations are going to provide opportunities for you to kind of get your business name out there, as maybe as a sponsor, like the Rotary Brew Fest that we have every year in May. Like, Soma throws some money behind that. We get our name on a banner and some t-shirts, like, it's some name recognition, but also we can get out there. I myself, as a business owner, have an opportunity to volunteer, and I'm through these conversations. Oh, where do you work? I'm at Soma Massage Therapy, staying top of mind. It's also one of our core values at Soma too, to really give back to the community as much as possible. So these service organizations are great way to do that. And it's a great sort of like going back to our marketing on a shoestring budget webinar, volunteering, these corporate sponsorships, $250 for the, what was that, Jackie, the Rotary Youth or the Kiwanis Youth activity course or whatever. Like that was great, right? It was like $250 and it was like it went to the community and it went to Kiwanis and it was fantastic. So that's a really great way to also kind of market on a shoestring budget. Get yourself a mentor or a coach, a mastermind of some sort. You know, I have several people that I will text if I have an issue. I'm like, what do we do? Can I help on a call? Super helpful. And then also, you know, just that personal support, you know, having a therapist, super great. Having a peer group, just having some downtime. Because ultimately, sustainability starts with you and your self-care. If you are burned out, you cannot do it. Our tagline at Soma is self-care is how you get your power back. Take care of yourself and build from there. So, as a reminder, sustainability isn't about slowing down. It's about building strong enough to last. So if you want to do it fast, you can go it alone. But if you want to do it right, you need to have a team. And that is going to be sustainable. It's going to avoid chaos. It's going to avoid burnout. It's going to avoid liabilities. It's going to avoid costly mistakes. Find your team, find your tools, know your values, know your core, take care of yourself, and build from there. So I'd like you to think about one area that you can address this month. I don't know what that is. Maybe you're going to adopt a system. Maybe you're going to put together a checklist or an outline of a like how to onboard a new client into my system, or how, you know, this is what I'm looking for when I'm hiring a new team member. And just, or I don't know, maybe you are trying to, maybe you're a franchisor like myself. Like, do you have, you know, site criteria that, you know, would be helpful for your franchisees as they're finding their location? If not, write it down, right? So what's an area that you can address this month? Can you maybe make an intro to reach out to your SBDC liaison or a business attorney, right? What is one thing that you can do this month to make your business stronger and more successful and more sustainable? You don't have to do it all alone. The most successful business owners know who to call. I want to mention again, franchise opportunities. Maybe you have a business of your own and you're not interested. That is fine. I hope that this webinar was useful for you anyway. If you're thinking about a business and you don't really know where to begin, y'all, franchising is where it's at. We literally have the blueprint and the map and we give it to you. And it would take a lot of the guesswork out of this. Like if you have money to invest in your own business, why not invest in a franchise where you have the support to do it right from day one, right? So just want to mention that. There's our information again on franchise opportunities. Next time, we're going to switch it up a little bit. I've been doing a lot of business stuff, but you know, as I also talk often in these webinars about self-care for yourself. It really, again, it starts with you. If you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of others. So next time, in the middle of the holiday craziness, we're going to be having a webinar on just self-care that you can do from your desk. And so if you can grab like a tennis ball or a washcloth or a necktie or something, a couple tools that we might be able to use next time. I'm going to show you some stretching, some self-massage, some breath awareness, some really simple exercises when you don't have time to get to the gym. And I hope you have time to get to the gym. But when you don't have time to get to the gym and you're feeling that tension headache creep up from the back of your neck and wrap around your eyes, I'm going to give you some ideas of what you can do seated at your desk so you can still meet that deadline and still take care of yourself. So that's what we're going to do next time. And then here's my contact info. You can reach out to me, info@somadenton.com. There's our phone number, our website at mysomamassage.com. So please reach out. We would love to chat with you. And I think I'm going to stop my share now and stop my recording, and we will open it up for Q&A. So thank you for coming. And for those of you who are still here, we're going to do the Q&A now.
That was awesome.